Did you make it to Texas yet, girl?
Girl, yes, we is live. We is live in Texas.
Okay.
Hey. Welcome back to the Coins and Connections podcast, where we explore all things books, business, and bullshit. My favorite bees. I'm your host, the fairy coin mother, Cinquanta Cox-Smith of www.cinquantacoxsmith.com. Now let's get into today's episode. Season 3, episode 1. Well, damn, we are here. And as you've seen from the intro, we is live in Texas. So I left you guys hanging on the season finale of season 2, episode 10. And I just told you guys in the Q Money Bag start of the week that we were moving, but I did not tell you guys where we were moving to. So of course that's because, don't need nobody trying to stalk me and do just the extra stuff, but we did move to Texas, and I'm super excited to be in my new home for the duration of the period that we're here, or until we decide to buy a home or whatever happens in the future. I don't know that far, but I am thankful, blessed, and grateful that we made it here safely. And I'm excited to explore. We've already been, trying a little, different places to eat. And I've been, trying to make friends. School will be starting this week that you guys hear this episode for my kids. Even though, majority of the world has already started school. I wanted to make sure that they went back on their terms. And that we were kind of settled in our home here and not kind of pushing them into an already hectic situation. My son did choose to go back in person on his own, and my daughter is opting for virtual. I know that eventually all kids will go back to school, but right now this is just our situation. And as parents, I'm sure you had made the, best situation and decision for your home and your family. But I'm just glad to be able to record and talk to you guys. I did so much prepping for this move, and I still forgot some shit, still forgot to do some things, but I am able to record and just do what I need to do to make sure that season 3 is successful. As you have heard already, you're getting a new intro, and make sure you stay tuned to the end so you can hear the new outro. I am growing, not only in my business, but in my life. In this season that I am in, I'm excited about changing and just being on another level, up-leveling what I've already done, and compete with my old self yesterday, okay? So is that a word from somebody? I am competing with my old self yesterday. Every day is a new day for me to be a bad bitch, okay? And that is what I am going to do. I'm super excited about losing some of this quarantine weight, even though most of it probably came before quarantine. Okay, I'm probably preaching to the choir. We was already saying was going to get healthy, and then quarantine and COVID hit, and look, we got 10 more extra pounds on us. But don't worry, we're going to get this shit together. We're going to lose some weight, and then we're going to be out here naked, okay? So, I'm right there with you. We're going to be naked all next summer, 2021. So, I am just excited to get into this episode. It's time for our rapid fire question of the day. Rapid fire question of the day is, have you ever moved? Now, I don't want to go down my list, but I know I've moved at least 10, 15 times. So I will go down my list because this is interesting. These are things you may not know about me. So I was born and raised in South Carolina, stayed there for 18 years. And then I went to basic training in Columbia. I'm not going to say that's a move, but I went to Fort Jackson for basic training, and I went to Fort Lee for AIT. So I had went to those 2 states, and I was already in South Carolina, but I lived in Fort Lee, Virginia for about 3 months. And then I moved to Fort Drum, New York, which is the Watertown area. I moved to Odenton, Virginia, and Woodbridge, Virginia. And then while I was there, I also moved to another area. What is the area called? I forgot the name of it, but I lived in Maryland and Virginia. I moved to Savannah, Georgia. I moved to Fort Riley, Kansas. And then I moved back to Fort Lee, and now we live in Texas. So I've moved quite a bit, and of course it is mainly due to the military. But I want to know, have you guys ever moved, and like what has that move been for you? I've actually liked every place that we moved to. Fort Drum was a little rough, but it was still a good time being had there. A lot of people would disagree, but I was young, no kids when I moved there, so I had all the fun. And I really enjoyed Kansas because it was just something different, and I was able to experience new and different things. So I want you guys to jump on over to Instagram and chat it up with me on Saturday when I post the rapid fire question. And I want to hear about your move. What did you like about your move, and have you ever moved? So go ahead over and answer that question. And now we're going to go ahead and get into today's main topic. So I get asked a lot, how did you start your podcast? Where do I begin? How can I start a podcast? Well, if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. First of all, it's free. You know, I'm down with the free. There's a creation tool that allows you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. Like, ain't nobody listening yet and you making money. How dope is that? It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So what are you waiting on? Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. So I am here with why you should start your journal business now. So, I have been doing journals since 2018, and I've helped so many people start their journal business and then turn it into different things. People are selling templates, people are having their own courses, but it is just a gateway to something bigger, and then just different ways that you can make more money. There are people who have their journals, their coloring books, or different things in Barnes and Nobles or on the shelf, and that can be you too if that is something that you aspire to do or that's on your to-do list. But today I just want to give you guys 3 reasons why you should start your journal business now. So I have my iPad here, and I am going to go over the first 3, and then I'm going to go into a little bit of detail about these 3 things. So why you should start your journal business now? 1, it is a huge trend. 2, there are millions of untapped niches right now. 3, you can make money, right? So the trend. So it's such a huge trend that our former First Lady, Michelle Obama, has a becoming journal that goes with her novel, right? Her biography. She wrote a beautiful biography. I love the book. I listened to it via audiobook. But she also has a journal that can accompany the book. It has questions in there and spaces where you can write. So if Michelle Obama is creating a journal to go along with her book, you can do it too. I want to tell you guys that I have this erotic short story that I wrote, and I had this bright idea to create that into a paperback book, but then I added journal pages at the end so that someone could either write their own erotic short story at the end or then write about their love escapades at the end. So it was just an idea that I had, and I definitely made a few sales on it. I'm not going to say tons, but it has sold. So that's just another idea for you when it comes to, taking something that you already have and creating it into a journal. So 2, finding niches can be simple as finding things that your community needs. So I am a part of the military spouse community, and I did the very first military spouse coloring book. I went number one. I was number one new release the day that I released it, which was amazing. And then, like I said, I am the first, and I can attest to that. I'm the first person who created a military spouse coloring book, right? So also, I wanted more military spouse journals in general, and mine sell pretty well. But I went ahead and did some for each spouse in each branch. But it can be as easy as creating journals for left-handed people, right? So left-handed people have a hard time. So why don't you create a journal where it's easier for left-hand people in the community to write in journals? That's an idea. Three, you can make money daily, monthly, and forever. Residual income goes on and on and on, okay? You can leave this money for your kids. You can leave this money for an estate. Whatever you have in mind, you can consistently make money with journals for the rest of your life. And quite frankly, it's part-time work in my opinion. So I probably made this as an estimate because feds be watching. I probably made over $50,000 in 2 years part-time work. I have not consistently uploaded journals in over a year. So yeah, imagine. I always say imagine if I've been consistently uploading, I would probably be a millionaire right now, but I have not. So $50,000 from part-time work. And remember, part-time is like 1 or 2 hours a day. And sometimes not even that. Like I said, I have not consistently upload journals in over a year. Like, I don't know the last time I uploaded 25 journals in a day, which I was doing when I first started. So that is just another take and idea of how much money you can make. Also, if you need help, I have a course, my low content, no content journal course. I've helped over 500 people with this course. I created it as I was going through it, as I was in the thick of it. I've also created videos to show you how to bulk upload so you can upload 25 journals a day. And if you are interested in getting my low content, no content journal course, coloring book course, any of those courses, the low content journal course is at bit.ly/easy money starter pack 1. And you can check out all of my other courses on my gumroad.com/Cinquanta Cox-Smith. So I'm super excited that I have this video and I can always talk about journals because it is one of my favorites and it is one of the top tiers of my income. But I'm super excited for you to start your journey in creating journals. And if you guys have any questions about journals, go ahead and leave them down in the comment section and I will get to them soon. I'm so glad that I can share these things with you. And I know a lot of you guys have said that the videos have been super informational. Thank you. I appreciate you. I am just doing what I love to do, is sharing the information that I learn as I go, because being in business is hard and sometimes you can feel like you are alone, but just having someone who is very vocal on sharing their failures and their mistakes can save you a lot of time and money. And that's what I'm here for. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And until next time, I love you more than I love this vlog. Peace. This segment is called Q Money Bags Thought of the Week. All right, guys, it's time for the Q Money Bags Thought of the Week. I don't want to end heavy, but I do have a question for you guys. So I want to know, how do you handle grief? So doing my therapy over the past year, this has been something that consistently come up. Normally because I've been around a lot of grief. I've experienced a lot of grief at a young age. And I think I never understood it. I never got the support I needed. And this is not like me bashing anybody, but I just don't think I understood what grieving meant. So to me, I was just numb to it. You get what I'm saying? So when you experience grief from such a young age and, some of the heavy hitters in your life, like both my grandmothers passed before I was 16, one when I was in the third grade and one when I was in my freshman year of high school. Still young at that time, but these were great figures in my life. That I love dearly and still to this day miss a lot, to the point where I've experienced grief back to back. I've experienced grief to the point where my grandmother was buried and my aunt died that same day. I've had two uncles pass within a year of each other type of grief. Seeing my parents grieve. Lots of members in my family who might have lost a mother or, just I've seen it and it sucks. But also I would not go along and not, talk about Chadwick Boseman, who recently passed away, the tragedy of Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gianna. Also someone who I feel is more tangible, who I've been able to buy courses from and follow maybe ever since 2015, which is Cece of the Six Figure chick, was a phenomenon in digital products. This day and age, I process grief a little later than most people. I will grieve the death of Bishop on Greenleaf before I grieve someone I know. We are invested in TV shows and sometimes we are invested in people's lives. But as far as entertainment, I've been watching Greenleaf for so long. So when Bishop died, it was like, oh my gosh. I probably cried when Glenn died on The Walking Dead. It's just certain things that were, just hurt you a little bit more. I grieve people in books that die sometimes. But when the world is feeling it right off back, I'm shocked, but I don't grieve instantly. And I thought that this was a problem, but I realized that I just have to process my feelings. And a lot of people just, go into their work or they, write about it or they instantly cry and they, go into a depression or into a dark space and they're quiet. So everyone grieves different. And I had to realize what it looked like for me because I was like, oh my gosh, all these people are grieving online and I'm not. What is wrong with me? But to be honest, my grief shows up a week late. It shows up later and on my own terms once I've been able to, process it. And every time I deal with grief, there's another layer added to my life. As far as like, am I secure? Am I leaving a legacy? What do I have planned for my kids? So at the same time, while I'm grieving, I'm motivated to make sure that things are squared away and look into the future. And those are conversations people don't want to have about life insurance and wills and who gets what and how can you access this? What do you know my bank account information? That's a conversation that a lot of people don't want to have, but it is definitely needed, especially in the Black community, because I know you guys are tired of the fish fries and the GoFundMes, but what kind of legacy are you leaving? Are you leaving debt? Or are you leaving wealth? So let's just think about those things. But I want to know, how do you guys handle grief? Do you overeat? Do you not eat? Do you cry it out the first couple of days? Do you sit with it? Do you write about it? Do you talk about it? And let's be vulnerable and discuss. Because growing up, you may have not seen anyone grieve, so you don't know what that looks like for you. So, I remember I think the first time I really saw my dad cry was recently. I don't even remember if I saw him cry at his mother's funeral because I was so distraught. So recently, well, maybe a few years ago, maybe 2 years, my cousin passed away and him and my dad was really like super close. And I had never seen my dad break down like that. And it was almost foreign to me. But also it hit me like out of all these years, I've never really seen my father cry or seen that emotion So I didn't know what to do but console him. So so it's a thing. And I want you guys to ask yourself that question. Has your kids ever seen you cry? And do you say, oh, it's okay, I'm fine? Or do you like legit have a conversation with them? I did not expect this to go this long, but so how do you handle grief? And let's talk about it over on the Instagram page. All right. Thank you so much for listening and subscribing to the Coins and Connections podcast. Don't forget to leave a review and join the conversation over on Facebook and Instagram using the hashtag Coins and Connections. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Cinquanta Cox-Smith and at Coins and Connections. You can shop all merch at www.coinsandconnections.com. I love you more than I love this podcast. Peace.